Hello! We're going to get started with Final Cut Pro for iPad by making a new project and importing some media. So I'm going to press New Project here in the bottom corner. Always give your project a good name. Now, if you have an external keyboard like this one, then it's good to use that. It's good to give things good names. Now, you can choose automatic settings, or you can use custom settings if you'd like to. I like to explicitly choose the settings I want to focus on, so I'm going to go with 4K. I want to make sure I'm using landscape, not portrait, and I'm going to edit with SDR rather than HDR. Now the important one you'll have to scroll down for, I want to definitely choose 25 frames per second. Now, although it would normally automatically choose these settings based on the first clip, if the first clip that I import was maybe 30 frames per second, my whole timeline would then be at the wrong settings for everything else. So I'm just going to be explicit. And I'll hit continue. Now, when I'm starting a new project, it offers to start with a blank project, or I can record something straight away with the camera, record from my photo library, or from files. And anything that I choose to import will land on the iPad, no matter where it comes from. I'm going to go for files. Now, I've got, as you can see, a hub attached, and the hub has this SD card, which has just come out of my GH5. I'm going to go straight to that, go to where the files are, and I'm going to grab a few files. So you don't have to bring in everything, you can choose what you want to bring in. I'll grab those, and then I'm going to press Open. Now, those files are going to end up in the Final Cut Pro interface, and as the files come in, you see a little circle spinning around on each file as it's actually copied. And you'll see how much space it's taking up on your iPad once it's been imported. Now, that's only the first import that I've done. I want to import more. And this little button at the top lets me bring things in from photos or from files. This camera button would let me shoot some footage, so you haven't lost any options. I'm going to go for files, and this time I'm going to my SSD. I'm going straight to this folder that I've prepared earlier, and a folder called Selected Clips. Now, these are some of the files from a job I shot last year, and I want to select all of the clips in this folder, so once you've started you can just hit Select All to grab all the rest of them. Now when I press Open, they will start copying, and it'll count up to show you how many files and how big they're going to be, but it hasn't actually copied them yet. You have to wait for the little circles to go past on each of these files for the media to have actually been copied. If there's an error, then the files may fail to import. So maybe don't import massive amounts of files if you want to take this workflow. Now, I've got some files in here I can play with. So here's a drone shot. I can play the drone shot back, and I can either just wait for it to play, or I've got a scrubbing bar over here, and I can scrub all the way through quite easily. If you want to use a keyboard and you've got one attached, J, K, and L work. K for pause, L to play forward, J to play backwards, and LL will go double speed, triple speed, so it's very quick to navigate through your footage. But there is also a jog wheel. This little thing down here, which is probably best used with your fingers, you can use to very quickly get through footage, and you can fling it around like it's a physical object. You can see there, the playhead is moving really quite quickly, and I can go very quick to the beginning or end. Now, importing media from the camera, which gives you lots of nice options, or from photos, is only the start of editing with Final Cut Pro for iPad. Getting your media in is relatively easy. Just make sure that you've got enough space on your iPad to hold all this media. This may change eventually, but right now you can't store media on an external SSD and work from it directly. When you finish your jobs, you might want to export and archive each of these jobs to your Mac. And that way you can keep your iPad clean for the next job. In the next video, let's have a look through how you might scrub through all your footage and organize it.